Good morning, one and all. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Mr. President. Of course, welcome to Toronto, all of you from other parts of Canada, North America, and indeed around the world. It's great to have you in our commercial capital. And true story, just was at Starbucks in the hotel part of this complex and waiting for things to get underway here just about an hour ago. And a couple sat down at the same table. It was short of some space, so I thought, oh great, I've got an opportunity to talk to some of the delegates. So I asked them, is this their first time in Toronto? Yes, it's their first time in Toronto. They're very much looking forward. Where are you from? We're from Switzerland. Excellent. So what do you plan to do for the next couple of days? Well, we're starting off here, then we're going to see Niagara Falls, and then we're flying to Vancouver and Vancouver Island. Then we're going to Jasper in the Rocky Mountains. Then we're going to Churchill, Manitoba to see the polar bears. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a very ambitious schedule for ICANN people to kind of shoehorn in. And then it became clear that they were just tourists. They weren't actually part of the conference. Which I thought was great that we're attracting tourism, but that is my way of assuring you that if you do have a little bit of time to sample Toronto or other parts of Ontario, or indeed extend your stay in Canada, you're most welcome to do so and join the Swiss tourists in that. I do want to officially, of course, on behalf of the Government of Canada, welcome all of the delegates here. We're excited to have you here at such a momentous occasion, as was mentioned, and certainly an important turning point for the future of the Internet. I would be remiss if I did not recognize, of course, CIRA, the Canadian Internet Registration Authority, done a fine job in organizing this meeting, I'd have to say, meeting number 45 since ICANN opened its doors in '98. And of course, CIRA has done an excellent job being the custodians of .ca, which is in great use in our country, as was mentioned. Since being given that role in the late 90s, CIRA has taken its mandate very seriously to act in the public interest and pursue a market-led approach. And I would urge CIRA to continue what has worked well and continue to work toward inclusive participation, transparency, and operate for the broader benefit of society and the national Internet community. Of course, it's an honor, of course, to be among such world-class experts that we have here today, the leaders, if you will, some of the excellent leaders of the Internet movement, who can be counted amongst those who have helped to frame one of the most transformative technologies of our time. Clearly, all of you in this room share a passion for the Internet. You all appreciate its vast potential to transform and to continue to transform the way that we communicate, the way we consult and collaborate, manage data, and, of course, share information. I want you to know that I share your passion. I'm continuously amazed at the way it makes our lives simpler and better. And I'm always thinking about how to maximize its potential and how we must stay ahead of the curve. That's one of my jobs, as was mentioned, as President of the Treasury Board of Canada, which requires that I oversee the operations of the Canadian government. And it's no small task when you consider the size and scope of our government, which is a major in and of itself, a major Internet user and participant. It's a huge operation. The Government of Canada employs 420,000 people, and we're spread out over every nook and cranny of the world's second largest country. And like any other major multinational, we have offices in most countries of the world, called our diplomatic missions. In so many ways, I am preoccupied with the issues that you will all be discussing at this gathering. This morning, what I'd like to do is share with you some of the things that the Canadian government has been doing to embrace and encourage online innovation. Specifically, I want to focus on our efforts to ensure an open internet and its free flow of information, which, as you all know, has been the key to stimulating innovation, economic growth, and greater accountability amongst its many other benefits. This includes the steps we are taking to free up vast stores of government data online, which allows citizens and researchers and private sector businesses to reuse and mash up this data for various purposes. We're also phasing in the next generation of the internet address system to ensure that the federal government websites remain accessible to the entire world. And we continue to support the multi-stakeholder model of internet governance, of course, which remains the best way to ensure the sound development of the internet as a tool that all world citizens will have equal access to. Let me just start by recognizing the efforts of everyone who has been working so hard to promote and champion the multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. In particular, I'd like to thank my colleague, the Minister of Industry, the Honourable Christian Paradis, for his ongoing efforts as Minister in raising awareness of the importance of an open internet that enables innovation and economic development. Now, to be sure, the multi-stakeholder model has served us very well in the past. It has given the internet the freedom and the flexibility to develop into a transformative technology, the transformative technology that it is today. It has done that by promoting the people and the organizations that have the most at stake in ensuring the internet succeeds in its power to make important decisions. Perhaps even more importantly, it has ensured that no single stakeholder or group dominates the decision-making process, be it governments or others. And I can assure you that Canada will continue to be a staunch supporter of this model, and that we will continue to vigorously support organizations that practice this model of consensus-based policy development. This, of course, includes ICANN. It also includes the Canadian Internet Registration Authority, which has made an important contribution to the global debate around internet governance. That said, Canada looks forward to continuing to contribute to ICANN's arm's length governmental advisory committee, which we currently chair. The committee provides governments like ours with an important opportunity to advise the ICANN board on public policy issues that affect the internet. Later today, that committee will be meeting to discuss ways to preserve and improve the multi-stakeholder model. And I know that the members will have a lot to discuss, as we're finding out this morning already. Indeed, in the coming months, several important decisions will be made on the way the internet is governed. They will be influenced by a proliferation of proposals to subject the internet to regulatory authorities and binding international agreements. Now, of course, many of these proposals will be debated in Dubai in December at the World Conference on International Telecommunications. The purpose of that conference is to update an international telecommunications treaty first adopted in 1988. But many are using this as an opportunity to establish in some form or another international control over the internet. I strongly believe that these initiatives cannot succeed because they fail to understand that a regulatory model applied to the internet world would be worse than a bad fit. It's clear to me that damage to the innovative spirit which has given us today's global internet would be beyond measure. The bottom line is we need to leave internet operational matters in the hands of global institutions such as ICANN. So far, those who oppose the solutions of the regulatory model have been successful, and they deserve our thanks. And, of course, the upcoming conference in Dubai will be another test for all of us who stand for a single internet where all of the citizens of the world have equal access to information and ideas. I'm confident in our resolve and determination to win the day. I can also assure you that Canada will be speaking for the same principles that have been in place since we began participating in internet governance discussions. They include a stable, secure, and resilient internet, a global, interoperable internet, and an effective multi-stakeholder model that facilitates competition and innovation. Let me just talk briefly about open data. Canada also firmly believes in joining the global phenomenon, which is a growing phenomenon, of sharing and harnessing government data. Today, an increasing number of countries around the world are opening the vault, so to speak, on a vast share, a vast store of valuable information that has, until very recently, been diligently collected and then tucked away like your grandmother's silver. Well, the door is now being thrown open, and the possibilities are truly exciting. Our government wants to ensure that Canada is a leading participant in this movement. And that is why we launched the Open Data Portal pilot project in March 2011. You can visit at data.gc.ca. The portal is a key part of our wider open government initiative to foster greater openness and accountability. Data.gc.ca is a one-stop shop for federal government data that can be downloaded free of charge by Canadian citizens, by researchers, by voluntary organizations, and by private sector businesses. This open data portal now has more than 273,000 data sets from 21 participating organizations in the government. So far, it has attracted about 1 million user sessions, and over 150,000 data sets have been downloaded, everything from building permits, wait times for non-emergency surgeries, pollution emissions, and vehicle recalls. The portal provides a link to the departmental website where the information is hosted and updated continually. For example, data sets on border wait times are updated hourly. The data sets are available in machine-readable formats and are typically XML-based. They can also be available in human-readable formats, usually XLS, which can be read using spreadsheet software. There are two main ways to find data on the portal. You can browse by department, subject, or data type, or you can make a specific search and peruse the results by department, subject, category, or data type. And of course, these data sets have potentially valuable applications. Think about the possibilities, for example, with the information that's currently available on the portal from 26 of the country's major border crossings. We all hate to wait in long lines at a border, but we now know, even before we leave our home, which crossing would be the quickest. This can save time, increase productivity, and improve our quality of life. And I'm just talking about what it means for one individual. Imagine when you extrapolate that across the country and to all Canadians. Unleashing this kind of information has the potential to have a measurable impact on our country's growth and productivity. Just to give you one idea, GPS data collected by governments is a perfect example of raw information that has been turned into a highly sought-after consumer application. Mapping apps, like the ones on our smartphones, are based on this data and are estimated to have unlocked $90 billion in value in the United States alone. So there's no question that the mapping app has improved my life as I go around my daily business in my own constituency or travel to different parts of our country. But open data also opens up government operations to greater transparency, increased accountability, and ultimately better service. If people have timely access to border wait times, for example, they will begin insisting that those times come down. And that combination of consumer value, accessibility to a previously untapped resource, and that margin for improving services is the perfect storm for entrepreneurial opportunity. I have now no doubt that Canadian entrepreneurs will be quick to seize on these possibilities that are opened by open data whereby these businesses can mine information and turn it into useful, consumer-friendly apps. And I want you to know the Canadian government welcomes that initiative. Open data offers important opportunities to improve quality of life, increase productivity, spur growth and innovation, and fuel new entrepreneurial ideas and businesses. And we're not the only ones saying that. The European Commission estimates the open data movement could bring as much as $55 billion in economic benefit a year to Europe. Now, our open data efforts and the data sets housed there, of course, are still evolving. And we know that to capitalize on these long-buried gems, it's crucial that we reach out more and more to our entrepreneurs and innovators to turn this raw data into usable applications that will benefit all citizens, drive innovation, and spur economic growth. This will require that we take our portal to the next level, that we share what we've learned and study the experiences of other countries. Events like this international gathering are an important part of this process. So are the global efforts, such as the Open Government Partnership, which currently boasts over 50 member countries. Canada joined the partnership this year, and we look forward to continuing to work with our colleagues from around the world on common solutions to promote transparency and stimulating innovation. Let me just quickly address our government's commitment to Internet Protocol version 6. Clearly, Canada is committed to enhancing its online services for citizens and businesses. To maintain this commitment, we need to ensure we keep pace with the rapid growth and development of the Internet. Our decision in June to adopt the new Internet Protocol, IPv6, is a good example of that commitment. At a time when the old protocol is running out of available Internet addresses, it's vital that we move to this new way of enabling the growth within the Internet. Our strategy will ensure that our web presence remains accessible to citizens, businesses, and the world. It will also promote awareness of the new protocol and encourage Canadian businesses to adopt it. Of course, the old and new protocols are not compatible, which will complicate the adoption of IPv6, but we're confident about our approach, which will maintain business continuity and minimize implementation costs during the transition period. In addition, I'm pleased to note that we are hitting the ground running. Since 2009, we have been working with the telecoms industry to develop solutions related to this new protocol. And we've also been collaborating with our counterparts in several other nations, including Australia, New Zealand, the UK, and the US, to leverage lessons learned and best practices. This is a multi-year implementation strategy, but we are making good progress in ensuring that the Government of Canada remains accessible to citizens, to businesses, and other jurisdictions worldwide as the use of the Internet and e-government continues to grow. By the way, as part of this commitment, we are also working to consolidating our web presence from about 1,500 addresses right now from the Government of Canada to 6 or fewer websites. This will provide one window access to the government that puts the needs of citizens first. So clearly, as has already been mentioned here this morning, we are at a critical time in the evolution and development of the Internet. It remains a powerful force that has enabled and enhanced so many aspects of society, from economic development to political revolutions to basic social interactions. And the success of the Internet, and it is a success by most measures, is a direct result of the way in which it has been governed. Yet, in many ways, the Internet has become a victim of its own success. In giving people unprecedented access to information, it has prompted some to try to control it. So our shared challenge is to protect the flexibility of the current system. We must stand up against those who wish to impose restrictions on the free flow of information online. We must also seize every opportunity to unleash the Internet's potential so that citizens, the private sector, and non-governmental organizations can leverage the Internet in innovative and value-added ways. In closing, let me reiterate our country, Canada's strong commitment to the multi-stakeholder model of Internet governance. We are emboldened by the widespread support it continues to enjoy around the world. And let me, in closing, wish all of the delegates a fruitful week of discussions and the best of luck, the best of success in the coming months, which promise to be very critical indeed. Thank you very much.